What if money didn't come from working harder, but from aligning differently? Most people pray, hustle, and worry about money every day, yet still feel blocked. But ancient spiritual wisdom reveals one quiet discipline that causes money to arrive unexpectedly through people, opportunities, refunds, ideas, and doors you didn't even knock on. This isn't superstition, and it's not about begging God. Most people approach money from a place of urgency. Their prayers, thoughts, and actions are charged with a subtle but powerful message: I am lacking. Even when they are working hard or praying sincerely, the emotional undercurrent is often fear, fear of not having enough, fear of falling behind, fear of tomorrow. This inner posture quietly shapes the results they experience. Gratitude operates in the opposite direction. When gratitude is practiced before results appear, it communicates trust rather than need. It says, provision already exists even if I cannot see it yet. This shift may seem small, but spiritually and psychologically it is enormous. Trust opens channels. Need constricts them. Need focuses on what is missing. Trust focuses on what is already working. When someone lives in a state of need, every delay feels like rejection. Every obstacle feels personal. This creates tension, internally and externally. Decisions made from this state tend to be rushed, reactive, or driven by anxiety. Opportunities are either overlooked or misused because the mind is too focused on survival to recognize alignment. Gratitude dissolves this tension by giving thanks before outcomes are visible. A person exits survival mode and enters alignment mode instead of asking, why isn't this working yet? The inner voice becomes, something is already unfolding. This change in perception alters how the individual speaks, moves, chooses, and responds to the world. Trust has a calming effect on the nervous system. A calm system makes clearer decisions. Clear decisions attract better outcomes. This is one of the hidden ways gratitude brings unexpected money, not as magic, but as alignment. There is also a deeper spiritual principle at work. Gratitude is an acknowledgement that life is not hostile. It affirms that provision is not random, nor is it withheld out of cruelty. When someone consistently expresses gratitude, they step into cooperation with the flow of life instead of resistance against it. This cooperation changes timing. Many people experience delays not because provision is absent, but because their internal state is misaligned with receiving it. Gratitude corrects this. It softens the heart, steadies the mind, and restores balance. From that balanced state, money often arrives in ways that feel unexpected, through conversations, ideas, or help that didn't exist before. Gratitude also removes the subconscious belief that one must struggle to deserve abundance. When someone is grateful without proof, they are declaring, I do not need to suffer to be worthy. That belief alone can remove years of internal resistance. In short, gratitude is not politeness, it is positioning. It positions the mind and spirit to receive rather than chase. And when receiving replaces chasing, money often arrives quietly, naturally, and surprisingly. Money does not respond well to chaos. While emotions are natural, unchecked emotional turbulence creates inner disorder, and disorder disrupts financial flow. This is why people can earn well yet still struggle, or pray intensely yet remain stuck. It is not the absence of effort, it is the absence of order. Gratitude restores order. When practiced consistently, gratitude organizes the inner world. It reduces mental noise, stabilizes emotions, and creates clarity. A grateful mind is not constantly reacting, it is observing. And observation leads to wisdom. Emotional decision-making often leads to financial loss. Decisions made from fear say yes too quickly. Decisions made from desperation ignore warning signs. Decisions made from frustration quit too early. Gratitude interrupts these patterns by grounding the individual in the present moment. A grateful person pauses, they breathe, they reflect. That pause creates space for better choices. Order in the mind produces order in action. Order in action produces reliability. Reliability attracts opportunity. People trust those who are stable. Opportunities seek those who are consistent. Money flows toward systems, not storms. This is why gratitude often improves finances even without changing income. It reduces waste, impulsive spending, and emotional reactions. It encourages patience, planning, and long-term thinking. These qualities quietly compound over time. There is also a spiritual dimension to order. Disorder creates interference. When thoughts are scattered, intentions conflict. Gratitude aligns intention. It unifies the inner voice. Instead of wanting money and resenting life at the same time, gratitude brings coherence. Coherence is powerful. When inner coherence is established, external coherence follows. This may appear as smoother processes, fewer delays, or timely connections. What looks like luck is often the result of internal order expressing itself externally. Gratitude also disciplines attention. It trains the mind to focus on what is working rather than what is broken. This does not deny challenges, it simply prevents them from dominating awareness, and what dominates awareness often dictates outcomes. A person focused on lack notices loss. A person focused on appreciation notices opportunity. Opportunity is the doorway through which money enters. Unexpected money rarely arrives through panic. It arrives through insight, timing, and alignment. Gratitude prepares the mind to recognize these moments. It sharpens perception. It slows reaction. It invites wisdom. This is why gratitude must be practiced daily, not emotionally. It is a discipline of order, not a response to circumstances. When gratitude becomes habitual, emotional highs and lows lose control over financial decisions. Over time, life begins to feel less resistant. Things move with less friction. Effort produces better results, and money, once chased, begins to flow toward the individual in ways that feel calm, steady, and sometimes surprisingly sudden. Most financial struggles do not begin in the bank account. They begin in the subconscious mind. The subconscious quietly shapes beliefs, habits, expectations, and reactions long before any conscious decision is made. This is why two people can face the same situation, opportunity, or challenge, yet experience completely different outcomes. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for reprogramming the subconscious. The subconscious learns through repetition and emotional tone, not logic. When someone repeatedly focuses on lack, worry, or disappointment, the subconscious accepts these as truths. It then works tirelessly to confirm them by influencing attention, choices, and behavior. Over time, this creates a self-reinforcing cycle. Gratitude interrupts that cycle. When gratitude is practiced consistently, it sends a new signal to the subconscious: life supports me. Even if circumstances have not yet changed, the emotional tone of gratitude carries authority. The subconscious responds by adjusting perception. It begins to look for evidence that supports this new belief. This is why grateful people often notice opportunities others miss. Their minds are trained to see value instead of threat. Where others see inconvenience, they see possibility. Where others see risk, they see timing. This shift alone can lead to financial improvement without any dramatic external change. Gratitude also changes internal dialogue. Instead of repeating thoughts like, "I never have enough," or "nothing works for me," the inner voice gradually softens. It becomes more constructive, more patient, more confident. That internal voice matters. It influences how a person speaks to others, how they negotiate, how they present themselves, and how they respond to setbacks. Confidence rooted in gratitude is not arrogance, it is quiet certainty. This certainty affects action. A person who feels supported is more willing to take aligned risks. They prepare more carefully. They persist without panic. They don't sabotage progress out of fear of success or fear of loss. Many financial blocks are not about money at all. They are about worthiness. Deep down, some people believe abundance is for others, not for them. Gratitude gently dissolves this belief. When someone regularly acknowledges what is already present, they affirm their right to receive. The subconscious listens. Over time, habits change. Spending becomes more intentional. Earning becomes more strategic. Saving becomes less stressful. Even creativity improves because a grateful mind is not trapped in survival mode. This is why unexpected money often comes after a period of consistent gratitude. The person did not attract money by wishing. They became the kind of person who recognizes, receives, and sustains it. Complaining feels harmless. Sometimes it even feels justified. But spiritually and psychologically, complaining carries a heavy cost. It doesn't just express frustration, it reinforces it. And over time, it quietly closes channels that most people are unaware even exist. Complaining trains the mind to search for what is wrong. When this becomes habitual, the brain becomes skilled at detecting problems, delays, and disappointments. Unfortunately, attention is energy. What receives energy grows stronger. The more one complains, the more reasons to complain appear. This pattern does not mean life becomes worse, it means perception narrows. Opportunities often arrive subtly. They come as ideas, invitations, conversations, or small chances that require openness to recognize. A complaining mind is rarely open. It is defensive, tired, and inward focused. It misses signals because it expects disappointment. Gratitude reverses this pattern. Where complaining tightens, gratitude softens. Where complaining closes, gratitude opens. This opening is not mystical, it is practical. People are naturally drawn to those who carry calm and appreciation. Help flows toward those who are pleasant to engage with. Collaboration forms around those who uplift rather than drain. Many doors open through people. Complaining repels support because it unconsciously signals that nothing is ever enough. Gratitude signals appreciation, and appreciation invites generosity. This is why grateful individuals often receive help without asking. Others feel safe contributing to their success. Complaining also reinforces a belief that life is unfair. While hardship is real, constantly narrating life as unjust creates internal resistance. Resistance blocks flow. It turns every delay into proof of failure and every challenge into confirmation of defeat. Gratitude does not deny hardship. It simply refuses to let hardship define reality. By choosing gratitude, a person acknowledges challenges while refusing to crown them as authorities. This mental stance preserves hope, energy, and motivation. Those qualities are essential for sustained effort and long-term financial growth. There is also an unseen cost to complaining. It fragments intention. When someone desires abundance but constantly speaks scarcity, their inner message is conflict. One part asks for growth, another part reinforces limitation. This conflict creates stagnation. Gratitude resolves the conflict. It unifies intention by aligning speech, thought, and emotion. When inner messages agree, momentum builds. Things move faster, decisions feel clearer, progress feels lighter. Unexpected money often comes through these open channels, clear intention, supportive relationships, aligned timing. Complaining blocks them before they even appear. This is why the discipline of gratitude must include restraint of complaint. Not suppression, but awareness. When frustration arises, it can be acknowledged without becoming a habit. Gratitude can coexist with honesty, but it must lead the conversation. Over time, this shift changes everything. Life feels more cooperative, resistance decreases, and money, once blocked by unseen barriers, begins to flow through channels that were always there, waiting to be opened. There is a quiet principle at work in life: whatever receives appreciation tends to grow. This is not mere positivity or blind optimism. It is a law of increase that operates across relationships, skills, health, and finances. When something is valued, it is nurtured. When it is nurtured, it expands. Gratitude is the language of value. Many people want more money, yet speak and think about money with frustration, resentment, or suspicion. They complain about how little they have, how unfair the system feels, or how slow progress seems. In doing so, they unknowingly devalue what already exists. And what is devalued rarely increases. Gratitude reverses this pattern by honoring what is already present. Even small amounts of income, small opportunities, or partial progress become seeds instead of disappointments. When someone treats small beginnings with respect, they signal readiness for growth. This attitude changes how they manage resources. Instead of wasting or neglecting what they have, they steward it. Stewardship is the bridge between having little and having more. A grateful person tends to care for their finances differently. They track, plan, and allocate with intention. They avoid careless decisions because they recognize value. Over time, this creates stability. Stability attracts increase. The law of increase also works internally. Gratitude increases clarity, patience, and resilience. These inner qualities compound like interest. A person who remains patient under pressure makes fewer costly mistakes. A person who remains clear avoids unnecessary losses. A person who remains resilient continues when others quit. This is why grateful individuals often outperform others with similar skills or resources. Their inner stability allows consistent effort. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum creates results. There is also a relational dimension to increase. People naturally invest more in those who appreciate them. When someone expresses gratitude, others feel seen and valued. This deepens trust. Trust opens doors to referrals, partnerships, and opportunities that cannot be accessed alone. Many financial breakthroughs come through relationships, not transactions. Gratitude strengthens these relationships. It turns ordinary connections into supportive networks. It transforms exchanges into collaborations. And collaborations often lead to growth that feels sudden, but is actually the result of long-term appreciation. Increase also follows attention. Gratitude directs attention toward what is working, which encourages replication. A grateful person notices patterns of success and repeats them. An ungrateful person focuses on failure and unknowingly repeats that instead. Over time, gratitude trains the mind to ask better questions. What can I build on? What is already producing results? What deserves more care? These questions lead to expansion. This is why increase often arrives quietly. It is not always dramatic or immediate. It may show up as steady improvement, reduced stress, better decisions, or stronger support. But eventually, it becomes visible in tangible form: income, opportunity, or resources that exceed expectation. Gratitude does not force increase, it invites it. Gratitude is not effective when it is practiced only on good days. Emotional gratitude depends on circumstances, and circumstances are unstable. True gratitude is a discipline, simple, consistent, and independent of mood. Discipline creates reliability. When gratitude is practiced daily, it becomes part of the nervous system. It stabilizes emotional swings and creates a baseline of calm. This baseline is critical for sound financial behavior. Money decisions made from emotional highs or lows often lead to regret. Gratitude reduces this volatility. A daily practice does not need to be long or dramatic. Even a few minutes of intentional appreciation can reset the mind. The key is consistency. Repetition trains the subconscious, strengthens focus, and builds mental order. This is similar to physical training. One intense workout does not create fitness. Small, regular sessions do. Gratitude works the same way. Small daily acknowledgments reshape perception over time. Practicing gratitude daily also builds spiritual endurance. When challenges arise, the habit of gratitude prevents collapse into despair. Instead of reacting with panic or complaint, the mind searches for grounding. This preserves energy. Energy preserved can be directed toward solutions. Many people lose money not because of lack of opportunity, but because emotional exhaustion leads to poor judgment. Daily gratitude protects against this by restoring perspective. There is also power in scheduled gratitude. When it is tied to a routine, morning, evening, or a specific moment, it becomes automatic. Automatic habits require less willpower. This ensures that gratitude remains present even during stressful periods when it is needed most. Emotion-based gratitude asks, "How do I feel today?" Discipline-based gratitude asks, "What am I committed to?" Commitment outlasts emotion. Over time, this discipline changes identity. A person begins to see themselves as grounded, steady, and resilient. That self-image influences behavior. They negotiate with more confidence. They wait with patience. They act with intention. This internal stability is attractive to people, opportunities, and resources. Unexpected money often arrives when someone is steady enough to receive it. Emotional turbulence can repel or mishandle opportunity. Discipline prepares the individual to recognize, accept, and sustain growth. Daily gratitude is not about denying difficulty. It is about refusing to let difficulty define reality. It anchors the mind in what is constant rather than what is temporary. And when the inner world becomes stable, the outer world responds. Waiting is one of the most misunderstood phases in life. Most people see waiting as wasted time, time where nothing is happening, progress is stalled, and effort feels unrewarded. This belief creates frustration, and frustration drains energy. Over time, this emotional drain can cost more than any missed opportunity. Gratitude transforms waiting. Instead of viewing waiting as absence, gratitude reframes it as preparation. It changes the question from, "Why hasn't this happened yet?" to, "What is being formed right now?" This subtle shift prevents discouragement and keeps the mind engaged rather than defeated. A grateful person does not go idle while waiting. They remain mentally alert. They observe patterns, refine skills, and sharpen awareness. Waiting time becomes training time, and training time often determines how well opportunity is handled when it finally arrives. Many people receive opportunity before they are ready. Because they lacked patience during the waiting phase, they failed to prepare. Gratitude preserves patience. It keeps the heart steady and the mind open. This steadiness allows growth to occur quietly beneath the surface. There is also a financial cost to impatience. When people feel stuck, they often rush decisions. They accept unfavorable terms, chase unstable opportunities, or abandon long-term plans for short-term relief. Gratitude slows this impulse. It reminds the individual that progress is not always visible, but it is still real. Waiting with gratitude reduces desperation, and desperation is expensive. When desperation disappears, choices improve. Improved choices lead to better outcomes. This is how waiting, when guided by gratitude, becomes productive rather than painful. Gratitude also protects self-worth during periods of delay. Without it, people internalize waiting as failure. They begin to question their value, ability, or direction. This damages confidence, which is essential for financial growth. With gratitude, waiting is not a verdict, it is a phase. This perspective keeps confidence intact. Confidence allows continued effort without burnout, and effort, when sustained calmly, compounds. Unexpected money often arrives after such seasons, not because waiting magically created it, but because the individual became prepared to receive and manage it. They learned discipline, they gained insight, they developed emotional resilience. In this way, gratitude converts time that could have been wasted into time that builds capacity, and capacity is what holds increase when it comes. Chasing money creates tension. Tension narrows vision. When the mind is fixated on an outcome, it often misses alternative paths leading to that same outcome or better ones. Gratitude releases this tension. When someone stops chasing and starts appreciating, their relationship with money changes. Money is no longer a source of anxiety or identity. It becomes a tool rather than a master. This emotional shift restores clarity. Clarity is essential for alignment. Chasing focuses on force. Gratitude focuses on flow. Force exhausts. Flow sustains. When effort is guided by flow, it becomes more efficient. Energy is directed where it matters most instead of being scattered by urgency. Unexpected money rarely comes through obsession. It comes through insight, timing, and alignment. These qualities require mental space. Gratitude creates that space. When the mind is calm, it notices patterns. When it is relaxed, it makes connections. When it is present, it recognizes opportunity. These moments often look ordinary but carry significant potential. Many people miss them because they are too busy chasing what they think they need. Gratitude also shifts identity. A person who is always chasing feels incomplete. A person who is grateful feels grounded. Grounded people attract trust. Trust attracts opportunity. Opportunity often carries financial reward. There is also a paradox at work. When money is chased, it feels scarce. When it is respected, it flows more freely. Gratitude teaches respect. It acknowledges money as energy that responds to care, intention, and balance. This does not mean abandoning goals or effort. It means releasing obsession. Action taken from gratitude is calmer, wiser, and more strategic. It is not driven by fear of lack but by confidence in process. This kind of action tends to produce surprising results. People respond differently. Circumstances shift subtly. Doors open that were previously unnoticed. These changes feel unexpected because they were not forced. Gratitude also makes receiving easier. Many people unconsciously block money because they feel unworthy or uncomfortable accepting help. Gratitude removes this resistance. It allows receiving without guilt or fear. When someone can receive well, life gives more. Unexpected money often appears when resistance ends. It may come as a refund, a gift, a new idea, or a chance encounter. The form varies, but the pattern is consistent. Alignment replaces struggle. Stopping the chase does not stop progress. It refines it. It aligns effort with timing, and timing is often more powerful than force. In the end, gratitude does not make someone passive. It makes them precise. It channels energy where it matters and releases what does not. And when precision replaces panic, money has space to arrive quietly, naturally, and often in ways no one